Hello. Okay. So, um, we're dealing with the Great Depression. Yes. In the last video, mostly I dealt with the stock market crash. This is also happening at the exact same time. What you're looking at looks like a big fire or something. That's dirt. You also have the Dust Bowl occurring at the same time. We in Midland have definitely seen some pretty crazy dust storms. Like you could taste it. It's just you breathe into the dirt. It's just, ugh. But look at that. A lot of the businessmen are who were like mega hurt during the whole stock market crash. Farmers and stuff, ranchers, they're doing okay. And then, for whatever reason, there's a drought. Okay, um, this drought lasts way too long in the 1930s, and eventually, there's no topsoil. Grass and crap. Okay, you end up with just dirt, and you end up with these massive dust storms. Look at this. Like that's crazy. The little car. That's a farm. What? Like that's a big car. That's something that's like covered. This used to be a farm, and now it's just dirt because all the topsoil is gone because there's no rain. And as since there's no like grass and topsoil and stuff, anytime there's any gust of wind, all of that dirt is just flying everywhere. Here's some more pictures. So now all of our farmers and all of our ranchers and all the people that like work on the land, they're also decimated economically. Look at this farm. We know this. That's a tumbleweed. Look at this. Where's the crop? Well, right here. Oh my gosh, I just said that so southern. I just said right here. How embarrassing. Look. Oh my goodness. Are they going to get any money? No. This lady's trying. Again, that was sounded so southern. Trying. This lady is trying to farm, but I mean, look at the ground, guys. Let me zoom into the ground. Plants and a lot of dirt. Mostly dirt. Here are some more pictures of people. Real people. This is like, oh my gosh, you're going to see this picture everywhere as you get older. This is one of those famous pictures from the Great Depression. Um, these are real people that were really having to deal with this. One of my boys today was telling me about a book that he read, The Grapes of Wrath. You'll read that at some point. I guess this year. I don't know. But anyway, it's about this whole thing, and it's about a lot of these people that were on the farms. They're going to pick up and go to California. California was doing okay, like farm wise, because they're on the other side of the Rocky Mountains. So they're not experiencing the drought that, like, we in the middle of the United States were experiencing. Here's another picture of a poor family, poor farm family. I didn't notice that little boy was naked. Let's move on. So we have our president. I told you that the president who, like, the Great Depression started under was Herbert Hoover. Okay, and a lot of people blamed him. A lot of people blamed him. I mean, it's not his fault that the Great Depression happened, but of course, the government leaders they get all the blame, right? So, oh, I didn't mean to do that. No, I was just doing this. So, um, the next election, we have this guy who gets voted in, Franklin Delano. It's not Delano. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Really, truly better known as just FDR. Like, that's literally what people call him today, and it's totally acceptable. Like JFK for John F. Kennedy, FDR. FDR takes over, and he has an idea about what might help us out a little bit. Okay, listen, I told you in the last video, the New Deal is not going to fix all of our problems. The only thing, and this is sad to say, but it's true, the only thing that is going to end the Great Depression is the start of World War II. When you start a war, again, this sounds terrible, but it's true. When you start a war, or when you join a war like we joined, you kickstart the economy because we need soldiers. We need people making guns. We need people mining the, I don't know, iron or whatever the crap the gun's made out of. We need people working when a war starts. So it's terrible to say, but often a war will kickstart an economy. Again, I know that sounds awful. It sounds like, hey, let's just go start a bunch of wars. No, but I don't like when people are commenting on my YouTube videos. It's creepy. Okay. So, anyway, FDR is the president, and his plan is called the New Deal. Okay. Basically, what the New Deal is going to do is it's going to create a bunch of jobs. Um, it's going to educate people about like how the stock market works, how banks work. The fact that, like I told you yesterday, the money has to be in circulation. In fact, in between the last video and this video, because you know I'm at my parents' house, in between the last two videos, we ate. Can you tell by my lipstick? Look at that. And I was telling my dad about what I was talking about, right? And he was like, "Do you explain to them why there's not enough money in the bank?" And I was like, "I don't know. What do you think?" And he was saying, "It's because the money's in circulation." And I was like, "Oh, of course I do." So the reason that it works is because I put money into the bank and then my dad wants to buy a house. So they give him my money and loan it to him. Then he pays the loan back to the bank and then they give me money from him. So it's all in circulation. We need people to understand that though, because in the Great Depression in the 1930s, people didn't understand that. People were confused. People were like, oh my gosh, but if I put my money in the bank, I'm going to lose it. No, the whole problem's going to be fixed. But they didn't understand that. So, not only is the New Deal a way to create jobs by well, I'll explain that in a minute, but it's also a way to educate people about how the economy works, about how the banks work, about how this whole stock market thing works. Okay. One of the things that the New Deal does is creating those jobs, and it's going to create jobs in all kinds of ways. But one of the big ways is by public works. Public works are like things that are good for the whole of society. A library is a public work. A park is a public work. Oh my gosh, the roads are public works. Roosevelt says, let's put people to work. People want jobs, let's put them to work. I mean, if they want to work, let's work. A lot, a lot of our national parks were done during this time period. People are hired to clear areas and build cabins and junk like that. Our highway system. This is in the 1930s. Guys, before the 1930s, there was no I-20 for me to get from Midland to Dallas back and forth. It didn't exist. The highway system was built by our men in the 1930s, mostly. So you get all of these like paved roads and all kinds of stuff where you have like a straight shot all over the place now. So a lot of those were built. Here's the thing though, a lot of these jobs that are being offered to these men, there's no money for them. They're not being paid immediately. The way that it worked, if I hire you to build I-20, the road from Midland to Dallas, yeah? You work and I give you an IOU. It literally is an IOU that would say, I owe you $10. As there was money available, okay, from the government, we would call you, you would come in, and I would pay you, and you would give me your IOU. It's almost like you're working to get paid at some point, but you don't get paid on time. Would we do that today? Like our mindset, would we do that today? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't know. But what that's going to do is it's going to give the government enough time to actually, like, with taxes and stuff, figure out where all this money is. It's going to give them also enough time to educate people about how the economy works. So people are slowly starting to go put their money back in the bank. One of the big things also that his education thing did is it explained to people, go buy stuff. During the great, almost said the Great Economy. What? During the Great Depression, a whole lot of people lost their jobs, not because of the stock market at all. They lost their jobs because people were like, oh my gosh, I have to hoard this money. I can't buy anything. So nobody's buying cars. Well, if nobody's buying cars, all the car dealerships are gone. Nobody needs those guys there, or ladies, whatever. If nobody's buying cars, the car dealerships are gone, but so are the car manufacturers. The men who were making the cars all lose their jobs because we don't need people making cars. If those jobs are gone, we don't need the men who are mining the whatever iron or whatever to make the car with. So those jobs are gone. So it's kind of like today again, you keep seeing all those commercials on TV. Order delivery. We're delivery. Because if you don't buy, I don't know, from wherever, I can't think of any place. McDonald's, I used that earlier. If you don't buy from McDonald's, everybody's going to lose their job. Well, if everybody at McDonald's loses their job, so do all the people that prepared all of that frozen food. Well, so do the people that are raising the cows for the beef. I don't know how it actually works, but everybody back loses their job. So educating people about, okay, to keep the economy going, you need to don't hoard your money. Don't buy a lot, buy in careful amounts, but buy some, because we got to have that money in circulation. So eventually, doing this IOU system to these men, it's going to give enough time that there is some money circulating, and the men can start getting paid eventually. Plus, 1939 hits, World War II hits. We're doing pretty good at that point because we start manufacturing some stuff. Do we start doing it on a wide scale? No, because we're not in the war until 1941. But it is World War II that's going to pull us officially out of the Great Depression. Okie dokie. Okay, tomorrow. Yeah, the next video, we're going to start dealing with fascism. Y'all, you're going to feel like we're already talking about World War II. We're not there yet, but you're going to feel like we're talking about World War II already, because we're going to be dealing with fascists. What is it? Italy is first with Benito Mussolini. I just like his name, Benito Mussolini. And then we will deal with Japan, and then we will deal with Spain, España, and then of course we'll get to good old Adolf Hitler. Okie dokie? Okay. Bye. See you later.